You get used to it. I don't even see the dips. All I see is 5, 10, 15% off. We have a crisis right now in crypto. Some of it kind of dumb, some of it justifiable. Some of it absolutely amazing to the point where I think Bitcoin is going to shock the entire world, and I will explain exactly why in this video. But for a while now, Bitcoin has been in a position where even a 25% fall to the 18,000 levels in the grand scheme of things would still be a healthy pullback. It's an unpleasant but usually necessary pain, if you will, as no chart can go up straight forever. Okay, outside of the declining power of the USD, okay? Sure, someone was going to bring that up. Still, you usually cannot avoid a considerable pullback, even from those who just want to buy in cheaper on occasion. But that's exactly what Bitcoin has managed so far to avoid on 2 separate notable occasions. How exactly was this possible? It's hardly surprising to anyone in the know. The uninformed ultimately failed and are not any better for having parted with their coins. No cheaper Bitcoin was available unless they were very quick to the buy button. Not a bad effort, though. There are 2 main and rapidly growing reasons why this bull market is unlike anything we have ever seen before, even compared to 2017. 2017 wasn't anything compared to this. Number 1, demand is getting increasingly crazy to the point where institutions are having to close their doors. And number 2, the available supply is rapidly draining. It's a scenario like mixing fire with oil, except maybe more apt here is plutonium with enriched uranium, whatever. It's a seriously big crisis here, though, in all seriousness, for billionaires trying to buy any amount of Bitcoin at the end of the day. Hashtag pray for the billionaires. No one ever really thinks about the issues that billionaires go through and their hardships.
How about this necklace from an Arabian princess? I found her dead.
But before we dig into the new developments around that, currently the first and biggest story developing is the SEC lawsuit against Ripple for unregistered securities violations. We were told this was likely going to happen last week sometimes, but it seems like the market only took it seriously until yesterday. It has, in turn, almost wiped out any and all profits of this entire bull cycle for XRP as though there wasn't one happening. In response, Brad Garlicbread, hashtag pray for the billionaires, has yesterday spoken to the media over his thoughts around the lawsuit.
The SEC is really picking winners. They're saying there's a duopoly of Bitcoin and Ether are the 2 digital assets, the cryptocurrencies that will be not regulated by the SEC here in the United States. And it really, I think, sends an ominous sign for innovation around cryptocurrency in the United States. Picking winners in general has not been something the U.S. government should be in the business of doing.
I would love to know what he expects the SEC could do about it. Believe me, if they had a company and a CEO they could nail to the wall, bring to heel, and flex their authority over regarding securities violations for Bitcoin, they would have done it. The only reason they haven't is because they can't. Even a guy just named Satoshi Nakamoto was taken to court, and he had absolutely nothing to do with anything.
XRP, however, is almost undistinguishable from what is Ether in terms of its decentralization, in terms of the breadth of activity. It's traded on a couple hundred exchanges around the world.
Anyway, if you want to watch this, I'll leave it linked below, but to save you a bit of time, he's essentially defending himself here for wanting his cake and eating it too. On the one hand, if you want to buy shares of Ripple because of his company's involvement to the XRP ecosystem, or buy XRP with a discount directly from his company, then that's super cool. But also legally, his company has no obligation to the protocol whatsoever, whatever gave you that impression. He's very close to it. Yes, but that doesn't mean he's legally responsible for his usage at all.
Burning behind me is 8.5 tons of heroin, opium, hashish and other narcotics.
So he's saying to the SEC, why are you going after little old me? Have you not seen the trending hashtag on Crypto Daily's video? Why didn't you go after Bitcoin? It's controlled by the Chinese. I'm sure that this line of defense will go down really well with the frustrated SEC commissioners. Sorry, I got something in my eye. Nah, I think they're going to make a martyr out of him, honestly. I'm not advocating, though, for him to lose. I actually don't like the SEC. Maybe he can grease some palms over there and win. Who knows? But late yesterday, we saw a bloodbath in the altcoin markets as the implications of the US actually being able to nail altcoin projects somehow became a realization for everyone at once. Even ETH fell 5%. Best way to show how brutal it was is by seeing the sharp uptick in Bitcoin dominance. I still have these red arrows from a previous video showcasing how each alt season is getting smaller and smaller. Anyway, yes, having centralization can be an issue, especially legally, but the reason this is overblown is because Brad admitted he had an option of settling this out of court. That's what EOS did. That's what many coins do. It's a small slap on the wrist. It's not the end of the world. For most projects, ETH was declared not a security. The sell-off was pretty irrational. However, for Brad's situation, specifically, settling would be close to the end of the world. He can't have XRP officially deemed a security if he wants to keep the meme dream of the banks using it alive, no matter how unlikely that reality may or may not be now. Back to the Bitcoin crisis now, a two-pronged issue of supply and demand. The buying demand from just PayPal alone is rapidly growing and is now responsible for $30 million of volume per day. There is a max issuance of around $20 million of new Bitcoin mined per day, so demand is outstripping supply. I know that gets a lot of headlines. To me, the bigger story here is that the buying volume from PayPal is growing, and it still hasn't been rolled out to all of its users yet. Not even close. What happens when it is? I tell you, something good happens for Bitcoin. Continuing on the demand side, Grayscale is ramping up their accumulation even at these prices. Grayscale had to temporarily stop accepting new clients. Some linked me the story claiming it was bad news. Only if they did it for any other reason, then they just didn't have the coins to offer, which actually seems pretty likely. Yesterday, Coinbase saw near record outflows from its exchange, likely large OTC deals being completed. And here's the really crazy part that I want to end the video on. The supply side of Bitcoin is way less than most people realize. It's so bad for billionaires. It's so bad. On-chain analyst says Bitcoin supply crisis highly underrated and extremely bullish. In total, the analyst says the blockchain intelligence provider data shows that the vast majority of Bitcoin is held by illiquid entities, and miners that hold large amounts of Bitcoin do not appear interested in selling. 14.4 million Bitcoin is held by illiquid entities. That is 78% of the current supply. Illiquid entities spend less than 25% of the Bitcoin they receive, acting as supply sinks in the network. Yes, only 12% of the Bitcoin supply is liquid according to this metric. Only 12% potentially, and even that number is rapidly dwindling. Another way to visualize it, during the last bull run, we saw tremendous amounts of Bitcoin inflows to exchanges to sell. This bull run, the complete opposite. Hence me giving the plutonium-uranium analogy earlier, hence me saying and others, the moon isn't the destination anymore, it's Mars. Very exciting times. I hope you all enjoy this price action. I hope you all have a great Christmas. I want to thank you for watching this video, for watching me this year. The support has been incredible. You've made this year that much better, and that's very much appreciated. Anyway, I'll see you again soon.